Welcome back to the Post-Rose Show, presented by Water Cooler Sports and Bachelor Night in America. I'm your host, Catch. I'm alongside my co-host, Junior. Junior, we had the fantasy suites this weekend. Kind of a boring episode in my opinion. But just give me your initial thoughts.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, save for the last, let's call it 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. Pretty big snooze fest. Nothing too important happened. Mm-hmm. I was really hoping for a little more drama between him and Victoria, but they kind of just let bygones be bygones, it sounds like, and nothing a good night of banging can't solve, apparently.
I guess so. And I think one of the major things to come out of this episode, other than obviously Madison, was how Hannah Ann is so normal. I mean, comparatively speaking, she's very relatable, I think. And the trail she's made from night one. She stole Peter like 3 times night one. Remember that? And then we had Champagne Gate. I mean, people thought she was going to be the villain. And honestly,
remember the runway when she bumped Victoria F off?
Yeah, I mean, I give Hannah Ann a lot of credit. I mean, this whole season's kind of been like a redemption tour for her since like her first episode or two. So, really strong episode from her. I don't know what's going to happen next, to be honest with you. So, I don't know.
I really don't. And honestly, we'll get to this a little bit more towards the end, but if Madison is gone for good, I honestly don't even know who he would pick between the two of them. Yeah,
I mean, I think this pretty much cements, though, that Peter's mom is crying about Madison.
Yes,
I think that's what it is. So, the rumor about the producer or whatever, relax, guys. It's Madison. Yeah. But with that, let's get right to the Pontiac game-changing performance. And this, Junior, was one that came very early on in the episode, but really set the tone for the entire night. And that was Madison's decision when talking to Peter to not tell her why she didn't want him to have sex with anybody else.
Yes.
She just said she didn't want him to have sex with anybody else. So, Junior, give me your thoughts on Madison's decision there.
Yeah, I think it was foolish on her part because it frames it in a completely different context if you explain the why, right? If you just come out and say it, it's like, this is like a possessive, jealous person. But if you frame it in here's my beliefs and I'm saving myself and I want my partner while I'm dating them to also save themselves for marriage, I think he looks at that a different way.
Right.
Now, does he still go through with the fantasy suites? I don't know. But at least he knows going into it why she is coming at it from that point of view, rather than just saying, don't do it because I don't like thinking about you with other people.
I 100% agree that I just changed the entire tone of the conversation. It just seemed like the entire conversation, we were all, the viewers, were sitting there saying, like, did she say that she's a virgin? Did she say that she's saving themselves? I mean, it was kind of like, the audience knew what was going on, but he didn't, and it's like she didn't know what was going on.
Well, she kept saying, like, I told him everything I needed to tell him, and we'll see what he does. I'm like, you didn't tell him everything.
Right.
You left out a very important piece of information.
Right. Yeah, and I think that does change how Peter operates after that. I think I think Hannah Ann probably, if he says, look, I want to take it slow or whatever, we can just do hand stuff tonight. She'll probably that's fine. Victoria F, I don't know, but I think he would try that there. But I mean, I think Maddie just saying don't have sex with other people, in the back of Peter's mind, he's like, whatever. I'll have sex with them, and then I'll convince her to have sex with me too because she's had sex before. That's what it was.
Yeah,
and you could tell that with the date too, because I thought the date was symbolic of we got to take that leap, we got to make that jump to sex, but it's not. It's not that, I guess. So,
what did you think of him still trying to save it at the end? To me, I was like, well, you kind of did make your bed there. When he was like, please, I don't want to lose you. I was like, well, she told you what she was going to do before you did it, right? I mean, there is no saving that.
Yeah, but she kind of left it a little bit open at the end of that conversation, back at the rose ceremony. She wasn't definitively, I'm leaving. He kind of talked her down a little bit from that. But if
she didn't want to play the "I'm not going to tell you what to do" card,
right? Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I think if you're Peter, you got to do what you can to save it. He's clearly her number one, or his number one.
Yeah.
But you got to do whatever you can to save it. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
We'll get more into this on the in the podcast because there's obviously a lot to talk about, a lot to break down there. But we're going to talk Survivor Pool just for a quick second. So we only had 4 people left. 3 of them picked Maddie, 1 picked Hannah Ann. We are going to watch the tape again. We'll make our final decision on the podcast whether Madison left or not.
Right. Did she survive the episode?
If she did not survive the episode, then we do have a winner. And if she did survive the episode, then we will have no winners this season because everybody else would have ran out of people. So that's
right.
that. Junior, let's wrap up this episode. Give me one word to describe what we just saw.
I'm going to say contentious. Very contentious situation there at the end. Both, not only on the show, on Twitter, there's a whole bunch going back and forth here. About who's on what side and who's explaining what.
Right.
A lot of Luke P comparisons that I know neither of us agree with, but again, we'll get to that on the podcast. But very contentious.
I'm going to go with just a snooze fest. It was just boring. I struggled for really the good first hour and a half there. It was a tough one for me to get through.
Yeah, they were doing a lot of the not a lot happens, and then we take a commercial break, and then we come back, and still not a lot happens. Like, they just peppered in so many commercial breaks. It's like, oh my God.
It was a tough episode, I thought.
Never ending. Yeah.
It's been a good season, but it was a tough episode.
Yeah.
All right, well, that'll wrap things up here at the Post Rose Show, presented by Bachelor Night in America and Water Cooler Sports. Please listen into our podcast. We'll be dropping that later Thursday night or Friday morning, as we do every week. Women Tell All is going to be great next week. Should be a good episode.
We're towards the end here. Wrapping up here.
Yep. Junior, any final words?
No, I'm good.
All right, thanks for listening, and we will see you a little bit later this week.
Bye.